Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Welcome to a new episode of Steven from the All Time Podcast. And in case you've been living under a rock, I am your host, the Ayatollah of hip hop, the whole damn show, the rated R podcaster, a visionary and a revolutionary. And tonight we'll be reviewing the 2025 Backlash PLE. But before that, my special guest this evening, he just dropped his new album, Doom Was Right, completely produced by himself. He's the man with 1,000 masks, a producer, a MC, a artist, and a luchador. And you will know who the fuck he is because WWE will put him in the Hall of Fame. He's like an RKO. They don't know where he came from. He is the only credible luchador in hip hop. He is action figure.
Hey, what's going on, man? Act low shit.
What's up, man? Great to have you on.
Yeah, man, dope, man. I feel good, man. Finally glad to get on with you, man, and speak a little bit, man. I know we've been talking for a minute, for a little bit, so you know what I'm saying. I'm glad we
Absolutely.
finally got to link up, and, do it on a podcast, So,
Absolutely. But before we get into talking about the record, talking about Backlash, unfortunately today we heard some sad news: the passing of a wrestling icon, a wrestling legend, Sabu. So I want to give condolences to his family, condolences to his friends, condolences to Jay, who was super close with him. Wrestling
yeah, hell yeah.
literally lost a revolutionary human being, probably one of the biggest influencers in wrestling, who I think doesn't get the credit that he deserves. And now, unfortunately, because of his passing, he will start getting the credit he deserves. But dude, this guy, without Sabu, ECW is not extreme. We could talk about Sabu. We could talk about Extreme Championship Wrestling. We could talk about wrestling at itself. If you remove the name Sabu, none of that stuff really gets to where it was and gets to where it is. Man, he like that guy put extreme wrestling on the map. He put wrestling into a different
Absolutely.
stratosphere in what they did and what he did with ECW and what he did in wrestling. Guys like Rey Mysterio, guys like to the point where you're even going, guys like RVD got influenced by Sabu.
Yeah.
So man, it
Mhm.
just it really sucks that we lost Sabu, man, and condolences to him, his family, his friends, and the world of wrestling.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, man. RP Sabu, man. Definitely deserves the 10 bell salute tomorrow on Raw. I'm probably sure he's not going to get it, but damn, man, that would be the moment, man.
Yeah, hopefully he gets it. He deserves it, like you just said. Uh, so let's get into it. Doom was right, man. You need to be really proud of yourself with this body of work because it's a definite body of work. You're naming it
Thank you, my brother.
your first album, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So to be fair, man, just everything that I've done up until this point has been really collaborative EPs, minus me and Eric. We did an album, but I don't consider that the debut action figure album. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So I feel like Doom Was Right is the debut album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and man, like just the way you orchestrated this project was really thought out. You completely produced this whole thing. That's like a cheat code.
Yes, sir.
Like you literally did the
Yeah.
whole, from front to back, put everything together, and it came out so special because you were able to do
Right.
everything on your own. And man, these
Absolutely.
the production on here, the production value on here is incredible. Like these beats are
Thank you,
something.
man.
Like
Thank you,
everything
man. Yo, I don't know, man. So to me, man, yeah. No, good.
like everything from the samples, the drums, the song placement. I think that's what's very important in a hip hop record or in any record. The song placement, just the way you started off with "Take Me to Your
Right.
Leader," that goes into Operation Doomsday and just has a flow throughout the whole project. You start off the album very eerie, very straightforward, and then it starts getting heavier and heavier to where towards the end it comes back to like the beginning, right? Very heavy
Yeah.
sampling, a lot of Spanish samples in there. So take me through how you curated these beats, how you put these beats together, and how you picked them to really only give us 11 tracks.
Well, it's yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. It's 12, but you're not counting the record with Eric as my record, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. Just so we're clear. All right, bet. So man, as far as the album, what I could say about my beats is just like I, when I first stepped into the game, you know what I'm saying? Recently as an action figure, you know what I'm saying? I was a producer first. So, I did put out two producer projects first, and then from there, I had started kind of rhyming. So the rhyming has kind of taken the more precedence of, the beat making. But I say that to say this, just as much as I was, writing raps and working on music and working on, songs and stuff, I was also making beats. You know what I'm saying? So for me, man, I'm hard on myself when it comes to beats. So for me to make a album, you know what I'm saying, of myself, it took a minute. It took a lot of you know what I'm saying. I'm always weird about rapping on my beats. It's just like I don't know. I'm always not so much picky, man, but just more like I'm always afraid of, you know what I'm saying? Like, am I liking this song because I did the beat, or you know what I'm saying? Or, me being, attached to kind of every moving part of it, that kind of I guess messes with the psyche a little bit. But man, to just put it lightly, man, anytime I found a good sample and I made the beat, usually by the time I finished the beat, I knew if it was, my beat or if it was going to just be in a pool for somebody else. So these beats that I made, some of them, I was strict about it. So as soon as I made them, if I felt like they were right and they were the one, then I went with it. You know what I'm saying? And then some songs I even went back into like old folders and looked for. Like that's how like the Latin porn in the '90s beat came about. So it was just a lot of I spent hours and hours making beats, and you know what I'm saying. A lot of the time it just goes to a folder on a hard drive. You know what I'm saying, and people don't really get to hear it. You know what I'm saying. So the fact that even 12 songs came out, you know what I'm saying? And I did 11 of them. You know what I'm saying? It's saying a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hard critic on my own work. So,
You were sitting on this record for a while because you had mentioned that you were holding it for a while.
right. So I walked into like we were work. I was working on it probably around I would say since June last year,
Oh, wow.
and then yeah, and we had it finished. We had it like fleshed out and everything. Maybe by December, it was all done recording wise. It wasn't mixed or mastered. So I had it for a little bit, um, and then the same time, in December, like 2 days before Christmas, Copenhagen Crates had reached out about, wanting to do some work. So once they kind of came into picture, I knew I wanted to put Doom Was Right on vinyl and I wanted them to do it. You know what I'm saying? So they had given me the, we're gonna work. They gave me a date. The date ended up changing a couple months into 2025, and then we landed on May, and I was like, that's perfect, and we ended up kind of doing the deal like that, man. And so I've been sitting on it since May, not since May, since last year, since towards the end of 2025, and what I'm saying I had the Vega record. I had the blue record as well. You know what I'm saying? I walked into this year with that kind of in my pocket while giving everybody else like giving out Dark Side of the Ring and Jolly being blunts and all of that. So,
Well, man, like first and foremost, the run that you're on, and I told you this when we were talking, you're on a Gunther run with what you did last year with
mhm,
Twins, and what you're doing this year. Like, man, Dark Side of the Ring is two really great projects. And yes, you're
right,
using other production on there, but that's fine. It's basically a layout of saying, hey, I'm here this year. I want to take over. This is what I have to offer. Okay. And now here's my album. And this is what I'm really about. This is what I'm really doing. And you showcase that on the record.
right, right. I
So
fully believe. So yeah, man. I think Dark Side of the Ring. You know what it was? So like, I had read a comment that I was reading comments, man, and I just kind of noticed like people had given their kind of like things that they wish I would do. Like some people were like, "Yo, I wish you would rap longer. I wish he wouldn't do so many EPs." People wanted the longer, 10 song, more than 9 records. You know what I'm saying? So Dark Side of the Ring was kind of that. I had just dropped Jolly Being Blunts. Everything was good with that. People showed love, and people definitely started to tap in. But then Dark Side of the Ring, man, it just has its own energy, man. Like I did that project in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Written and recorded. You know what I'm saying? And what's it called? Dark Side of the Ring 2, I think was like around the same time, maybe like 2 or 3 days. You know what I'm saying? I didn't spend a lot of time on that, but I think, man, that excite there was just a lot of energy behind it, and I knew like I was just preparing people. I just felt like I was just trying to kill time, man, until Doom was right, man. So that's what like Dark Side of the Ring was like, kind of me killing time a little bit, but people showed a lot of love, man, and that was, I think people started to really pay attention when they saw that, man. you know
yeah, absolutely. But like I said, like you kind of gave appetizers, you kind of gave people like a, hey, this is what I want to do, this is why I'm here. Get used to it. And you're a
Absolutely.
producer first and foremost, right? So you're able
Hmm.
to layer yourself on these beats or on production and see what you're comfortable with. So giving people
Right.
small projects here and there isn't really a bad thing. I think it's a good
Hmm.
thing. And it's
Right.
it's because you want to get people to be like, okay, who is this action figure guy? I want to learn more
Hmm.
about him. Oh shit, he's only giving me a
Absolutely.
project with 5 songs. He's only giving me a project with 9 songs. I want that full length. And me as the
Hmm.
listener, being a fan of your music,
Hmm.
Doom was right, sounds about 1,000 times better because I had other projects to listen to that really kind of created you and to what Doom
Right.
was right is, right?
Right, 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 right. So for me, man, I felt like with the short projects, I just wanted to just give that energy, man. I didn't want to give people an album right away. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, yo, the EPs, like the 7 song joints, man. To me, I feel like they're perfect because people's attention spans aren't the same, man. You know what I'm saying? I've seen back in the day, you used to see like 20 song albums, 24 song albums. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody sitting through that now.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like being able to space it out and then showcase me on different production. So I wasn't just leaning towards just drumless beats, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving you drumless on soul, drumless on boom bap. I'm giving you boom bap records. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I had fun I liked being the guy that you didn't know what to expect, but you knew like a project or something was coming every month. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I wanted it to be something where it hit you sideways, where one's maybe wrestling themed, the next one is more, like a Pray for Puerto Rico. And you know what I'm saying? People didn't know that me and Eric were working on the album, and then, oh, here's a collaborative album with me and my brother Eric the Red. And I like giving people the not knowing what to expect, but then I also like working my way up to my own album. I wanted people to know I was nice. I wanted people to get familiar and know, okay, bet Action got the bars. Action could, that's why I was rapping for so long. That's why like this the album to me, it just felt like like I was doing more like I was showcasing like what I could do on the court. I feel like basketball's a good thing, a good representation for this. So I feel like I felt like doing street ball moves, you know what I'm saying? And then now I feel like, I was in the Rucker League, now I'm in the league, and that's what I feel like Doom was right was me finally like entering the league and being on like an NBA team, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And it's basically like the mixtape era. We got so
Right,
many mixtapes back in the late 90s, early 2000s before we actually got a record from somebody, an actual
right.
album. So the fans keep wanting more and more and more. And that's what you did. And
Yeah.
and that's why I think it's so special. I think that's why this project is really that special. And my question to you is, if a first time fan, what's the record people should give them? Hey, I want the first Action record. What should I start off with?
I would say, I mean, now I would say Doom was right, just because I feel like I gave you the kind of the story of everything. You know what I'm saying? The first song I'm telling you about me wearing the mask for the first time. You know what I'm saying? I'm breaking it all down for you. You know what I'm saying? I broke down my history in it and still gave you bars and everything in between that. But to me, I would feel that Doom was right is the one that to be fair would be a great introduction. But I would say aside from that, probably the stuff with Wolverine, man, the Luchador series. I would say, man, you got to start there. Obviously, I would say. But
Yeah.
to me now, I would definitely say Doom was right. I feel Doom was right. It's the perfect first thing to listen to.
Do you want to continue with giving people your beats? Because on this record, you did mention that you gave people beats and that they didn't use.
So you know what it is, man? Like man, what is it? So like I've done joints with like my guys BCP, and those guys have been they kind of do their own thing, man, and they get the beats, and I don't have to really. It's more fun. It's not like we're sending someone like a pack of 27 beats, and you know what I'm saying, and they're not picking anything, and then I got to send you another 27 more. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the patience to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like I gave beats to certain people, and everybody is as kind of just held off on using them. You know what I'm saying? And some people may have did things with them, and people are holding off on right moments to put them out and different things like that. So with me, it's just like I've had people hit me up to do projects, and we'll do them, and then I don't hear from them anymore, and people kind of abandon the idea. So it's just like, like the producer game for me, I didn't have fun doing it, to be fair. Like I was like when I was putting out like my own shit that I produced, like Wrestling School, where like I had Jay Rhymes on there, and then I had Haberdashery, which was my first project where that I fully produced. Um, I like doing those more than giving people beats. It's just like, what I'm saying? I've given people beats that were just nobody's made like my favorite song. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
when I gave certain people beats, I for a while I used to be like, damn, these aren't like good songs. You know what I'm saying? But like the BCP guys are giving me great records. Wrestling School was great, but I've just never found that I don't know. I've given people beats and it was cool, but I just wasn't, I guess, fulfilled in that range. You know what I mean? And I think now I want to do more. I definitely want to do more as far as producing, but yeah, I got to chill with the rapping. I
Well,
feel
you
like it's like I feel like it's like one has to suffer for one to be good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I gotta figure out when's a good time to kind of like chill for a little bit. Like you know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. But you gave Hound five tracks for the EP.
Right. I gave
And
him a couple. Yeah, yeah. I gave him like 12, and he ran with 5.
no, but
See, it's like things like that. Yeah, but like, see, like those guys, man. Like I've done projects with them, and it's just I don't know, man. they came with it, man. And those records are like my favorite stuff that I produced. You know what I mean? Like, because they actually like put character and things to it. And most people think like I don't know, man. They put hooks on my shit. Like they were the first people to actually like do what I envisioned on those beats. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about working with like a BCP and Hound, like Hound and G's and them. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys are just they'll rap. They rap on anything. You know what I'm saying? And they could rap on anything. You know? And those guys like they actually, like I said, I've never like sometimes like I'll give people beats and what I'm saying, the vision isn't there what I saw for it. But I'm like, that's cool. But those guys are the ones that have like captured like what I want on my records. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Featurings on the project. You have Vega,
Hmm.
you have Eric the Red, which is the track, that tag team
Yeah.
track.
Uh-huh.
Blue Azul.
Hmm.
How did those featurings come together? Is it something that you reached out to them? Is because man, they sound fantastic on here. Like,
Thank you, man. So me and Vega, man, so when I dropped Luchador is going platinum, which was last January in 2024, um he got put on. He got put on to me really like from the kind of like the onset. And it was to the point like I went in a Twitter space one time and Lord Owen was in there. And Lord Owen was like, yo, action salute. He was like, yo, he's like, I know this is probably our first time speaking. He's like, but yo, me and Vega were riding around listening to your EP with Wolverine last weekend. You know what I'm saying? And that was the only thing we were listening to. So ever since then, it was just like we were like tapped in, and me and Vega, like Vega would like hit me up every now and then just to like show love. He heard something, he would compliment it. You know what I'm saying? And it came time for the album, man, and I made the beat, and then I was like, yo, when I heard it, I was just like, yo, this is a Vega beat if I've ever heard one. So I let Wolverine hear it. And Wolverine was like, yeah. He was like, yo, that's got to be the one you get him on. So I reached out to him and I just asked him, I was like, yo, son, I'm doing this album. It's on my beats. I want to get you on a joint. And he was just like, yo, send it through. And I waited like 2 months, man. He was like the last verse. He was the last verse to come in, but he was the first person to get reached out to for the collab. You know what I'm saying? And you even got a shout out on that too, man. I was waiting for you to hear that.
oh man, yeah, it's something I'm still processing. And I'll tell
Mhm,
it to you this way before we get back into the track. Growing up being a hip hop fan, growing
mhm.
up being a wrestling fan, for me to get mentioned on a wrestling, influenced wrestling reference track at the end of the
Oh
track
yeah.
is
Oh
just, to
yeah.
me, is just, I still can't process it, but it's
Mm.
amazing. It's like I'm
Oh yeah.
honored. I'm literally honored to have been mentioned on that. And you guys, what you guys did together, man, is really well put together. And you
Yeah.
guys both touched on two subjects in each of your verses that isn't really
Mhm.
spoken about in wrestling to that level or in hip hop. No one's mentioned. Like Vega said, because the move was botched and battered, like when D'Lo Brown dropped draws backwards. Like nobody talks
Yeah.
about that. Like people are scared for that subject matter, but he
Yeah. Yeah.
mentioned it. And
Hmm.
and you mentioned the show must go on, like Undertaker wrestling next to Owen's blood.
Hmm.
Like even that, like growing up, nobody ever really noticed that Undertaker was wrestling at Owen's blood was right there, and Taker was actually staring at it till you get older and you're like, oh shit, like that's for real. That's a subject matter that nobody talks about. And in the Vince documentary, he was asked about it, and he said the
Hmm.
show must go on.
Yeah. Yeah. So to be fair, yo, like I saw that. I saw that at the Vince doc. And when I saw it, when he said that the show must go on, and I was like, oh, I was like, yo, I was like, I got a pen. I put that one down. Like I had opened the notes section on my phone real quick and put it in there. Because I knew then, like, I didn't know. So like, yo, like when I sent Vega the beat, I didn't know it was gonna be a wrestling joint.
Oh
Like I
wow.
didn't know he was gonna like yeah. I didn't know he was gonna go so crazy on the wrestling bars. So when I heard, and this is the thing too, like I get this a lot too, like not just Vega, but just anytime like yo, like I see people and they show love, man, other MCs and shit. I get it all the time. They're always like, yo, I could do that wrestling shit too. I could do the wrestling shit too. You know what I'm saying? So Vega, not that Vega was obviously Vega's had wrestling shit in his bars too. So that wasn't far fetched for me. But when he came with all those wrestling references, I was like, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be fun. Yeah. So I had my own shit. Like I was just like picking shit out of the air, man, trying to figure out what to say, man, because I just knew like Vegas shit was fucking insane. So I just
Absolutely.
tried to keep up, man. I just tried to keep up, man.
And then Ray's Killer Tape with Blue Azul, which the drums on there, the heaviness of the drums, and how the flow of Blue on there, and even you, just the way you guys are really on point with those drums, stand out
Yeah,
so much. And it being probably the heaviest track on there.
I would think so. That track, so how it came about, man. So I had did the joint. Um, I had did it prior, like I did my verse first, and I had the hook. And originally, I was trying to get Vinny Paz on that record
Oh wow,
because Vinny Paz had showed me like some crazy love on the DMs. He was like, "Yo, you nice." He was like, "Yo, you nice, mano," and all this shit, showing me love. And I was like, "Well, shit, man. If you showing me love," I was like, "What's good with a verse?" And but he denied me, man. But he dubbed me, but he dubbed me in a cool way. He was just like, "Yo, I don't do features anymore." This shit.
really?
So I was like, all right. I was like, no doubt. But then I've seen Blue. I always see Blue around. Anytime I go to New York and I'm on the show scene or whatever, somehow Blue is always either performing or he's just always there, just you know what I'm saying, just in the crowd. So I've always asked him about like doing shit, and he's always like, "Yo, hit me, hit me." So one day I hit him up. It was just like, "Yo, I got this joint. I think you'll sound crazy on it." And you know what I'm saying? He was just like, "Yo, send it through, man." And you know what I'm saying? I made it happen. He gave it to me. I gave it to him on like a Tuesday. He gave it right back to me on Wednesday. I was like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have me waiting, nothing. And it just came about like that, man. And as
Uh,
far as Eric's joint, so like I wanted to give Eric his own joint. I'm a fan of Eat Red, man. Eric the Red 13, man. I just think he's one of the illest, and I think you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to showcase him, and I've always, one of my favorite albums coming up when I was younger in the underground was Immortal Technique, Revolutionary Volume One, and he had the song Dance with the Devil,
yep.
right? But after the song with Dance with the Devil, he had his homie Diabolic come on and like destroy a beat and shit and go crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I always thought that that was ill. Like, you know what I'm saying? To have like to be the guy like it's my album, but I'm gonna give someone else a whole song on it to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I know Drake did that for like Kendrick at one point. I've seen it done before, man. Like I know there was like this DMX album where he had like a whole bunch of people go crazy on one song and he wasn't on it. You know what I mean? So I always just liked that idea, and I just wanted to showcase Eric, and I just wanted him to get some shine, man. And I thought that would be a dope way. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why, like, and I noticed about Eric, man, is just like he always told me he had a Doom tattoo. So I was always like, yo, if I'm gonna do a Doom project, why not have the guy with the Doom tattoo on the album? Like, why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Just like the Blue Azul project, just like the Blue Azul future too, like it made sense too because he's dropped Doom inspired
Yeah.
projects as well, you know what I'm saying, where he shows love and pays homage. So you know what I mean? I felt like it was a no-brainer on there. And it was like I didn't even tell him about like that it was a Doom project, Blue, you know what I'm saying? And he ended up like making a Doom reference in it too. So but Eric knew. Eric went in and knew that he was on a Doom project.
Yeah, and he killed it. Eric killed it, and it's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing. It's amazing that you did that for him, and that's why I said 11 tracks, because you rapped on those 11 tracks. But giving him that space as a track all to himself, man, that's amazing that you did that, and he shined on it, right? Your production, him
absolutely,
rapping.
absolutely, absolutely. One of
Something
my
else.
favorite moments on the album too, man. Yeah,
Oh, for sure, and it breaks up the album so perfectly because you leave those two last songs with romantic comedy and Latin porn in the 90s. And I think right now, if listening to the project, those are your two best songs on there to me
which
now.
one? Which
Right now,
ones?
after listening to the album for the last couple of days, I just love the production on there and how you flow on there.
Okay,
Right
okay,
now, we
right.
could, in two
It
months
could
it might be
change, right?
something else, right? Because there's so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
in here. There's so much different style of production. There's so much different flows on here, but those really set off the album, like the finish. Like
Hmm.
this is the end of my project. This is who I am. Okay, this is what you're gonna get from me, and then it kind of leaves you like, what's next? What's next for
Yeah,
action? What's next for
yeah.
action figure? I want more.
Hmm.
But it's amazing because sometimes when people finish off their records and it's like it's too intense, you're kind of like, that's not how I would have liked the album as a listener. But this really,
Right,
the beats were sample heavy. They weren't intense. They weren't like heavy on you. It kind of like the end of like the end credits to a movie.
right, right. Yeah. Yeah, I like to say that those last two records were kind of more the I guess the really fun records. So like everything else was kind of like, lyrical onslaughts in terms of those two records. You know what I'm saying? And then you got romantic comedy, which is like, a love joint kind of breaking down like, me and my wife and shit. And then, then you got Latin porn in the 90s, which is like this like a novella, you know what I'm saying? Which I've always like joked around with people, and I would always say that shit like, "Yo, I'm gonna quit rap and I'm gonna start writing novellas." Like, "Yeah, I ain't ready," you know what I'm saying? And I was inspired for that one, for that record in particular, man. I was listening to Bronson, believe it or not. I was listening to Easy Rider, and I was watching the video to Easy Rider. And I was like sitting there watching it. I was like, damn, yo. I was like, yo, I need a song like this. Like this shit is just ill. Like it's not even, it's just whatever. He's not rhyme like, he got like his own storyline in the video, and the shit is ill. And I was just like, yo, it's just like, I don't know, he's having fun, but he's killing it. Then you got this dope visual, like, you know what I'm saying? So that shit inspired me. And I was like, yo, I need to make a record, something like that, man. And that's where, like, the idea for, Latin porn in the 90s kind of came about. Just, my mom's is also like, we're talking about Mother's Day. Like, my mom's is like a fan of telenovelas, you know what I'm saying? Which is like Spanish TV
Yeah.
dramas, you know what I'm saying? So So I knew, like, I was like, yo, I've seen a million of these. I was like, I know how to like structure and write these, man. Like, I have a lot of fun with like story records and you know what I'm saying, having a beginning point and an ending point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always like doing records like that.
Yeah. Are you gonna make videos for any of the songs?
Yo, so I have Operation Doomsday already done.
Oh
Like
wow.
it's already like I have, yeah, 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 I have the music video already. It could drop whenever, you know what I'm saying? So I'm planning on dropping it this week, man. It just seems like, yo, with the Copenhagen drop and now the bars drop, it just seems a lot of attention has just been on physicals lately. So I kind of want the physical thing to kind of like, see its way through and then start giving the visuals, man. I definitely want to keep this. I want to work this project a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I want to give it a good run. So
It,
I
it
definitely
makes
want to do
sense.
more videos as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense, and a lot of people need to get in tune with this project. Um, you sold all 50 records on Copenhagen in, I'm hearing, 20 seconds, and
This it, yeah.
I'm
So
happy I don't buy
in the
vinyl.
yeah. So in the comments they were saying 10 seconds. Um one of my homies had it counted and said 15, but the official count from Copenhagen was 20 seconds.
Fuck, that's crazy. For
Yeah,
50
yeah.
copies. Man, look, they needed to make 100 copies for this. And a
Right,
couple of
yeah,
different
yeah, yeah. So,
variants.
so, so bet. So let me say this right. Like me and Copenhagen, we had a conversation about it, right? So I'll let people in on it, man, a little bit. So they asked me what I wanted to do, right? When we first started talking, they heard the album, they knew what it was. They were like, "Yo, do you want to do 100 copies or do you want to do less?" And maybe like a couple weeks before that conversation with Copenhagen, I was talking to Vega, right? And me and Vega were talking, and I let him know, like, I was like, yo, I got this Copenhagen thing going. He was like, yo, he's like, if they give you the chance to do 50, he's like, do it. He's like, I wish I did 50 when I first came out. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing 100. And I was like, yo, how long did it take for you for that 100 to sell? And he was like, yo, I was new at the time, so it took a little bit of time. So it took him like a month or two for people to really kind of get into it. So he was like, yo, he's like, if they give you a chance to do lower, go ahead, you should do it. So Martin was like, yo, I could give you the payout right away. He's like, but you could do this 50. If you take less, you'll get copies and shit. So I was kind of like, my thing was is like, I'm still new. Like, I don't feel like I've been at this since 2023 to say, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's still new. You know what I mean? I still feel like brand new. I don't feel like seasoned or anything like that. I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like 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 to be fair, yo, like I looked at myself realistically. And I was just like, yo, if I do 100 vinyl, I was like, I don't want to me, like, yo, if you invest into me, if you invest into action figure, bro, you invest into a dollar. If you invest a dollar in me, you know what I'm saying? I want you to make 1 million. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
want you to get your money back. You know what I'm saying? I want you to have a steak dinner on me. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like I felt like if I did 100, I didn't feel like it was gonna move right away, and I didn't feel like it was gonna be a thing that we'd still be talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I felt like yo, I felt like yo, I wanted to do less now and let's work our way up. I'd rather, you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to just be honorable about it. Because I'm sure most people will get a Copenhagen deal and will be like, yeah, let's do 100. They'll be like, yo, let's do four. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you look at the site, there's a lot of people on there that are, that are still records that still haven't moved. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to be one of those people to be like, yo, have them spend money that they weren't gonna see back right away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, I felt 50 was right. And to be fair, yo, I was still worried about the 50.
Nah,
You know
you
what I'm
shouldn't
saying?
be. Nah. No, I get
Until
it though.
no,
But it's
yeah, yeah.
vinyl, right? It's vinyl. Vinyl sells out way quicker than CDs and tapes.
Right.
Uh, so like when they said 50 in my head, I was like, yeah, it's not gonna last long. Max, it's gonna last is a day, but it really
Mhm.
sold out super quickly. And I hope the people that bought it to actually own it and listen to it got a copy. If not, it sucks because resellers are gonna start selling that shit for a higher price, and then Jay will just show up at their door and take it from them.
Yeah, so it was fucking hilarious, bro. Is after maybe like 10, 15 minutes, like after the sale was done, bro, somebody DM'd me a fucking screenshot of eBay,
Yeah.
and there was one up there already. And fucking Jay was like, hits me up. He's like, yo, your fucking record's on eBay right now. He's like, I'm hitting up the seller. And he was like fucking berating this human being, bro. I
Yeah.
was crying laughing. I was like, nah, bro. I was like, yo, leave that man alone. He's like, nah, fuck that, bro. He's like, how does he get your vinyl? He's already putting it up on eBay. That scamming fuck. Like, yeah,
He's not wrong. Look, I'm happy I don't buy
yeah,
vinyl.
yeah.
Fuck that shit. I'm
Mhm.
dealing with people that just buy to resell.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that this is getting the CD treatment on Bars Over BS on the 13th. of May at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, this ain't I'm getting a copy because I'll show up to somebody's house. I need to own this record. But man, Bars Over BS does such fantastic work, and just like the cover and the OBI stripe and the holographic, the slip case that they did for you, like man,
Yeah, yeah,
it really looks great, man. I'm excited to own this piece.
yeah.
Honestly,
Same, same,
it's an
man. I can't
important art to own.
appreciate that, my brother. I'm excited to be working with them, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're great.
over the weekend is pretty crazy, man. I was hearing, man, because they got their own, I guess, like a VIP chat.
Yeah,
And after after the vinyl sold out, fucking Blue and Ty were hitting me up, and they were like, "Yo, our chat room is going crazy right now with your name in it." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What they saying, yo?" He was like, "Yo, they talking about are we dropping your album and shit." They people were speculating, man, and he was sending me like all like the screenshots and shit of what they were saying and shit. Like one of them was a poll where it was like, "Will action figure be dropping on bars?" And both the answers were yes.
that's fun. It's
I
good.
was there, man. It feels good, bro. Like, yo, like I know what it's like to fucking put out music, man, and nobody listen to it. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to put out music and you know what I'm saying, nobody's
Yeah,
excited about it. You know what I'm saying? So to see people genuinely fucking excited about something you know what I'm saying, that I
yeah.
recorded in my friend's living room, you know what I'm saying? It makes me fucking feel incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
and
proud of it.
the art speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
Uh, Before we get on to the backlash review, I just want to take a couple of minutes to talk about Craig Dyer and the
Yeah.
phenomenal artwork that he's continuously done for you. Look, as a wrestling fan again, as a fan of art, he's been just on a fantastic roll. And for you to always be able to work with him, man, and for him to be able to give you those images and give you,
Yeah.
like, he literally paints you what the music is.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Like,
It, it,
it's crazy.
yeah. Yeah, it's insane. The shit that the ideas that I've given him and the shit that's come to life is amazing, man. I cannot thank like Dyer enough, man. Like it's just been a pleasure, man. You know, um he's been instrumental in a lot, man. It's more than just the artwork, man. It's also brotherhood, man. It's also, you know what I'm saying? He's put my name in a lot of places, you know what I'm saying? He's spoken up for me, man. He's championed me, you know what I'm saying, in ways that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people haven't. You know, to be fair, man, you know, he was one of those really big proponents of what's going on now. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's also done his fair share of like hitting up bars about me and hitting up Copenhagen about me, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, so like just as much as this is a success for me, it's also a success for him, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he put his name on the line too, man.
Well,
You know,
yeah.
so that's why I can't thank Dyer enough, man. I always, you know what I'm saying? I like I just love like the work is not even done. Like we still got more on the way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's man,
So
it's
it's just
crazy.
like,
What else can he do? Like you surfing, that image is fucking crazy. Then you have the recap of the Austin and Vince. Like that
yeah,
when I hit you up the moment you had dropped that, just as fucking it blew my mind how so well put together and how it made sense.
yeah,
And now with the
yeah,
Doom was right, like just like the half mask, and then you're like, dude, it's fucking
yeah.
crazy. It's brilliant that he is able to think that and then put it
Mhm.
all on a canvas.
Yeah, it usually it's me and him, man. We usually sometimes I sent him like a picture of Austin, you know what I'm saying, holding the gun to, like I sent him that picture, you know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah. I was like, I need this. I was like, this has to be the second cover. Yeah. But the Doom was right one. Yeah, I think I gave him an idea and I think he took that idea and was like, he's like, I see what you're saying. He's like, but he's like, let me draw it for you, and I want you to see what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? And that one was that's how the Doom was right cover kind of came. I gave him like an idea, and he was like uh-huh, and he like expounded on that idea. You know what I'm saying? But everything else, man, yeah, man, he's fucking insane, bro. There has not been one thing that I've asked him for that he hasn't been able to capture. Yeah. So.
Brilliant. The work you guys put together is fucking brilliant, man. And I'm happy that you guys are able to work together and put that all on in the art form. What was Doom right about?
What was Doom right about, man, is just he his philosophy, man, is what really kind of inspired, the mask. And I just felt what he said in that Red Bull interview, you know what I'm saying? Where he was like, yo, where he talked about how he saw music. He was like, everybody is just they care about what you look like versus what you sound like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I've always just wanted the one thing that I've always wanted in my music was forget what I look like, forget what my t-shirt is, you know what I'm saying? Forget what my kicks are, you know what I'm saying? Are the beats and rhymes though, you know what I'm saying? And that's always been the thing that I've always cared about more than what a rapper looked like, you know?
Yeah.
So I felt that philosophy, and I always thought that that was an amazing philosophy. And the name, man, the name for the album, man, I did this like content show over the summer, like they'll ask random people in the street, like, hey, do you do music? So one of those. And I did that. And when I was building with the guys, like before filming and everything, one of them mentioned, they were like, yo, you get compared to Doom a lot. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah. I was like, that I think that just comes with just the mass thing. But then he was like, yo, but do you feel like people pay attention to your music more since they don't know what you look like? And I was like, yeah. I was like, yo, in that regard, Doom was right. And then once I said that, I was like, oh shit. It just the light bulb went off in my head, man.
Makes sense. It makes sense. And you were able to speak to that on the first two tracks also.
Hmm.
So man, this project is something, man. I can't wait to to put it to the side for a bit and go back to it and just be able to hear things I didn't hear in the first few listens. And man, I've listened to this about 25 times already since it came out on Friday. And I told you about that. Like I go to
Yeah.
something else and I go directly back to it because there's so much mood to the music on here.
Hmm.
And I and
Right.
and, and I want to put it to the side in the next couple of days and then really go back to it and see what else I could gather from this project, man, because there's a lot into it and it shows your work and your perfected work that you put into it, man. So I'm super happy for you, man. It's a it's a
Thank
it's
you.
a it's a really good project, and a lot of people need to know who you are. And
I appreciate that, man.
I want to push your music to everybody because it's important because you make really really good music. So it's important for people to know who the fuck Action Figure is.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, man. Like I know what it's like, man, to make stuff, man, that doesn't resonate with people, man. So for my album to resonate with you, you know what I'm saying? Somebody far away too, you know what I'm saying? Is always something that amazes me, man. And I appreciate it, man. And I'm glad you fucked with it, man. I'm glad you took the time out to listen to it. You know what I'm
Absolutely, man.
saying?
Well deserved, man. Well deserved.
Thank you, bro.
And unfortunately, Jay couldn't be here tonight. He was supposed to do the Backlash review and also be part of the album conversation. He's mourning the loss of Sabu, one of his really really good friends. But
Hmm.
I told him that I was gonna bring this up. You and him need to put out a project together. Give back to me that because you guys together is something special. You guys did it on Swarm of Heels,
Hmm.
and the stuff he's done with you and the featurings he's done with you, and you guys have that chemistry, like a tag team chemistry, and the back and forth, and just the different tones in your voice really blend well together with you and him. He has the like that really grimy, like heavy voice, and you have more the
Right.
laid back voice,
Hmm.
and you guys could really put something out like really incredible, man. And with your production.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I love Jay, man. Like the one thing Jay knows this, man. Like I think he's a pain in the ass, man, and I love him to death. I love
Yep.
that guy. He's
He's a fucking pain. He's a
like,
ball buster.
yeah, you want to know how much of a pain in the ass? Like, yo, him and my fucking wife share the same birthday.
Ah,
You
fuck.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm like, yo, so both fucking Scorpios, bro. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I love Jay, man. He's just like, yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, we got music. I can't like I'm not gonna say it can't happen. It could definitely happen for sure. It's just more on Jay, man. Jay got to be focused, man.
Good. I'm gonna get him focused because I told him it's time to get
Oh yeah,
focused.
yeah,
Um,
man.
okay,
Because
so let's get.
we got this unreleased song, man. That's fucking incredible, and he
I'm
needs to fucking
sure
put it out. And I was telling him he needs to put it out, man. And he wouldn't let me put it out, so I'm
I'll make
hoping
him
he
put it
fucking
out.
puts
I'll
it out.
bust his balls.
Hell yeah,
I'll
hell
bust his
yeah.
balls. Fuck that. Fuck him. I'm gonna bust his balls. He's gonna put that record out. I think people need to hear it because you guys have
Yeah,
really
I
great.
told him. Yeah, I told him I was gonna go on live and play it. Yeah, he was like, "Yo, you fucking asshole! Don't do that." Yeah, he was like, "Yo," he was really pissed.
It's amazing.
I love
Uh,
that guy, though. He's a pain in the ass, but I fucking love that guy, bro.
absolutely
It is,
love
man.
him to death.
Yeah, man.
We get into this backlash PLE real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Backlash PLE in St. Louis, Randy Orton's
Mhm.
hometown. 5 matches. When I look at the card, I see a very weak card. When back
Definitely.
when Backlash started with that fatal four-way United States Championship match between Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and LA Knight, I thought that was a great way to start the event.
Right. I thought they stole the show right from the onset.
Man,
I thought it was a really good. I thought it was a great fatal four way. But I feel like those are. I feel like you can't go wrong with those. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the caliber of guys they had in the ring.
yes, but there's a lot of that could go wrong because of the flow of the match, and they all need to
Hmm.
be on point. And
Right.
when I watch LA Knight and things, and even Damian Priest to a certain extent, I kind of find those are two of the guys that could, I don't want to say botch, but things could go wrong. Like that
Right.
it wouldn't flow as you would want it to flow. But
Right.
they did a good job with this. Like it made sense.
Hmm.
So
Made super saves. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Like I knew, like I already knew the outcome. I knew they weren't gonna take that off. They weren't gonna take that belt off of Jacob Fatu just yet. So I knew, like going into it, I knew it was just gonna be entertaining, and I was entertained, man. I was not mad at it. I can say that.
yeah, same here. Same here. And Jacob wins. And the big the big question mark is on Solo bringing Cobb from New
Yeah,
Japan Pro Wrestling.
hell yeah. Like I was telling somebody, I'm not too familiar with New Japan. Like I'm not super dialed in on them like I used to be back like when Omega and the Bullet Club and all of that. So I find myself asking people like like what's his caliber? Who is he? Jeff Cobb.
I look, I heard about him. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 matches, but I don't know. It's a question mark.
Hmm.
I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know this whole relationship with Solo. I knew he had a feud in New Japan with Jacob, so maybe
Right.
it's gonna go into that direction. I see Solo turning on Jacob at some point, costing him the
Definitely.
title, and Solo not fighting, but having to go through Jeff Cobb to get to Solo.
Right. I can see
So
that. I can see that. I feel like that's gonna happen like Money in the Bank. I feel like that has to happen soon.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen probably before SummerSlam, and that's where in SummerSlam is gonna have that big match between Jacob and Cobb or Jacob and Solo.
Oh yeah. I can see that.
Drew and Damien did their thing.
Oh yeah.
Drew to me is not being pushed where he needs to be pushed, but I like what he's doing now with Damian because they're two, the stature of them and they're built, how tall they are, they're able to really connect in the ring. And a lot of bigger
Right,
guys like that aren't able to do that in the ring. It's a slower pace, but they
right.
keep that energy. They keep that excitement in the ring.
Oh yeah. I think like the run that Drew's on, man. I never really cared for Drew McIntyre. Like even when he won the title,
Mm-hmm.
during the COVID era and all that, it was cool, but I wasn't so dialed in on him, man, until that till last year, man, for WrestleMania 40, man. Just everything leading up and him doing the shit with the Twitter shit and all of that, man. I was like, yo, this guy is fucking hilarious. Like I was dialed into more of his like out of the ring antics than the shit inside the ring.
Yeah.
But seeing him now, man, him and Damian, I like Damian Priest. I'm a Damian Priest guy, man.
Oh, really?
And yeah, yeah, I fucks with Priest, man. I like them both paired up, man, because you don't get that. I think that's what we're missing in WWE is there's not many big guys anymore, man. Like really, like how you used to get those like you used to get like Mark Henry and Big Show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You would get Kane and like they would have Kane and Taker. You know what I'm saying? Even with those guys with Show and Henry, we don't got like a Viscera.
No.
We don't got a Rikishi. We don't have like they just got rid of Strowman, and I think Strowman was too injured, man. Like
Yeah.
his last run.
Yeah. And
But
Bronson Reed is out too.
yeah, I can't wait for him to come
Oh,
back. I
man.
think that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I saw when I was looking up stuff about Cobb, I had seen that him and Bronson Reed also had like a legendary run in like New Japan and stuff. Like they
That's
had
one
like
of the matches I saw. It was actually him and Bronson Reed. And Bronson Reed, man, he's put himself over like next level. And it sucks that he got injured because I think he would be a champion right now, or he would be in a feud that would make him be one of the main guys.
yeah, definitely. Because he was entertaining. Like again, man, a lot of the guys that a lot of people I've noticed, man, they've been using a lot of these wrestlers. They've been using Twitter, man, to
Yeah.
get over, and it works for some people. Naomi on Twitter is fucking hilarious
Yeah.
too.
It makes sense for their
Yeah,
character.
man. Hell yeah.
Uh, Next match was the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Not much to say about the match. It was an interesting match. It was a good match. I don't know
Mhm.
where it's gonna go. I don't like Becky as a heel.
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Becky Lynch fan, man.
N- Neither am I. I
I fully thought she was gonna take the title because she's just known for coming taking long periods of time off and coming back and they just throw her the belts. So I was expecting that to happen. So the fact that that didn't happen,
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, cool, 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 cool.
And I
Makes it
like
interesting.
Lyra. I like Lyra Valkyria. I think she's great in the ring. I think she's really made something of herself.
Absolutely, and I thought her in NXT was pretty dope too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think she had a great run at NXT too, man. I feel
Uh,
like NXT has been like sleeper. I've been telling like Jay that shit too, and he's always like, I don't got time for that shit.
but he tells me to go watch NXT.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell him I'm like, yo, NXT's better. So he's like, I don't watch that shit.
Um, next match was the IC Championship match between Dominic Mysterio and Penta.
That
I
was
think
fun.
it was fun, but it was just hey, we need to add a match. Let's add this match because they fought on Raw a couple of weeks ago.
Right, right. And
So
I think like Penta I think they're gonna put I think him and Dom, well maybe Dom more like on because you know how like they always threw AJ like people like on the whim, like they threw him and Balor on that
yeah,
one, I think it was what, Capital Punishment,
yeah,
randomly, and they're just putting two guys together that could work. I think that shit is ill. Like that's what I feel like that's what we got out of uh um fucking my guy Stereo Dominic and
yeah,
Penta shit. I think
yeah,
you just got a match between two guys that can work and actually know each other a little bit.
yeah. And Dom is great, man. Did you see that dive DDT outside the
Hell
ring?
yeah. Hell yeah. I'm a Dominic Mysterio fan. I always liked him. Even like coming up, I always thought he was gonna be nasty. So I like the way I like that, man. I like that he's now I feel like he's now got it. I feel like now that they put the title on him, I think now it's like he's shining now. I think the Liv Morgan magic, and I think that helped out a lot too,
Oh, big
especially
time.
for his character.
Absolutely. And El Grande, who interfered in the match and costed Penta the title, quote unquote, because Dom did his
Yeah.
thing with the frog splash. But El Grande versus Penta, that's going to be down the line, probably tomorrow on Raw. And we'll see a feud
Yeah.
going into probably Money in the Bank and SummerSlam between those two.
Yeah, man. I want to know what's the payoff with all of that, man. Besides it just being Chad Gable, you know what I'm saying?
Is it Chad Gable?
I think it's I believe that's definitely Chad
Is
Gable.
I
I think the way they got it, of course, like this would be like fantasy booking shit. But like if they, because you know how what was it the? Because wait, he's more on Raw, right? So
yeah,
I'm trying to think who's the Raw general manager. I'm forgetting his name off of it.
the bald
And
guy.
I
I
know
can't remember.
not all this. I know all this is the SmackDown guy.
I don't even pay attention to the
Oh,
Raw
Adam
general
Pierce. There
manager.
you go. Adam Pierce.
Yeah,
I feel like somebody needs to be like, yo, why don't you like, yo, you want to find out who El Grande Americano is? Put Chad Gable versus fucking
right.
El Grande Americano, and you'll find that out right away. But of course, that's not wrestling logic.
No,
Yes.
no. Um, Next match was Gunter versus Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Uh, Look, we can
Yeah.
stand
So
here.
I feel like Gunter gave fucking Jimmy the ass whooping that he should have gave Pat McAfee. I feel like.
Right? That should have been it.
Yeah, like I didn't like. I feel like that Gunther and this Gunther are two worlds apart right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They're making Gunter look weak and just really tossing him to the side. And look, I'll be honest. I used to be a Pat McAfee fan. I don't like Pat McAfee in WWE. I don't like him as a commentator. He screams all the time. He annoys the fuck out of me. Whatever. I wanted to see Gunter beat the shit out of him. He used to play with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm a huge Indianapolis Colts fan. Whatever. I just think the one thing I'm gonna say about this match is that this match was better than Gunter versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania.
I could agree to that because that was a weird one too.
So, look, where is Gunter gonna go from here? I have absolutely no idea. Is he gonna take a break? Who is he gonna go after? Is he gonna go back into the IC run? Is he gonna go after Jey Uso again? Where do you go with Gunter from here? And the only thing
Right.
that comes to my mind is him winning the Money in the Bank.
Oh, damn, I didn't even. I've been trying to think about that, like who was winning it this year, man. And my bet was gonna be like Roman, but damn, Gunther makes a lot of sense. Maybe
Yeah,
that's what it is, man. I feel like maybe they're just making Gunther eat shit, man, until Money in the Bank. Man.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see where they go. And the main event of the evening, the undisputed champion John Cena versus Randy Orton, hometown hero Randy Orton. How many times have we seen them fight?
You said what, 23?
Yeah, 23 times.
And this
This
was gonna
pro-
be 24.
yeah, this probably being the worst time they fought, but I'll be
Yeah,
honest, I enjoyed the match. As two
right.
guys in their late 40s,
Hmm.
they're showmen. They know how to put on a
Yeah,
match. They know how to keep us on the edge of our seat. We knew
right.
Randy Orton wasn't going to win, even though he was in his hometown, and John Cena's going on a title run. But they were able to tell us a story within the ring. They gave us that.
Right.
They didn't do
Right.
a bad job at all. Like this
Right.
would probably be my second favorite match of the evening. I thought it was gonna be.
Absolutely.
I thought it was gonna be total shit.
Yeah. They had a lot of spots in there too that was really interesting, especially like all the table shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. I knew obviously we all knew Randy Orton wasn't winning, but it definitely made it seem like a couple of times like he was though. And I like that, man. I just you saw two guys that were just comfortable with each other. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm glad that they still had that too, because they haven't had a match since what, like 2014?
I think it was 20. I would say 20. I saw 2017 and it might be, was it Hell in the Cell? Man, they had so many matches and they had so many great matches. That
No, because I
rivalry
think
is,
the last one they had was when they unified the titles again. They took the big gold and unified it together. I feel like that was the last time they did that.
man, a they had a 15-year feud, if
Yeah.
not longer. They've known each other for 25, but their feud was like a 15-year feud. I remember seeing them here at Breaking Point.
Oh
Breaking
wow.
Point was only a one-time pay-per-view back then, and it was
Hmm.
in an I Quit match.
Right. Yeah.
So, man, look, both of them are legends.
Oh yeah.
They're great in the ring. They're great on the mic. They know what they're doing, and they gave us that. And now it's over.
Mhm.
It's over. We're never
Yeah.
gonna see them fight again. And look, they gave us how to end that story, how to end that whole feud for the last 15, 20 years. And
Right.
we're never gonna see it again. So we're lucky to see it. And look, props to them. Great job to them. And now we just want to see in which direction Orton is going to go because he just keeps fucking RKOing Nick Aldis,
Yeah.
right? And not getting
Yeah.
his way. And we know Cena is going to go up against R-Truth because at the post show,
Oh man, what a waste of a match, man. What a waste of an appearance.
it was
You
for
already
Truth.
know. Yeah. Unless he's gonna job out the truth, like like I want truth to be the champion, but I don't see that happening, man.
No, it's never gonna happen, and Cena's just gonna continuously win till about SummerSlam, till when he loses back to Cody, just by hitting people over the head with the belt. That's how he's gonna win till he loses the belt.
Yeah.
It's heel Cena. Look, let's see what's gonna happen going forward. I want to see some storylines kind of die out. I want to see some new feuds happen. I want to see Cena and Punk. I
Yeah. I
I do
definitely need
want
to
to
see
see
that
that.
again. Yeah.
So and I want to see what they're gonna do with Orton and in which direction Orton's gonna go, and
Mhm.
Gunter and Drew and Jacob's feud. So there's a lot of interesting things that could happen if they write it correctly.
Absolutely. I feel like
Uh
that's always the thing with WWE, man. And I think like with now with the roster being so deep now, I think it is more important. Is so important now that the creative is right, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It depends. It's hit or miss. It's really,
Yeah.
really hit or miss. What's your score on 10?
Man, I give that maybe like a five, maybe even like a little
Five.
less. Maybe even like a out of 10. I'll give that like nah. I would give that maybe like a two, man, because I only really enjoyed two matches
Shit.
out of that. Yeah, I can only give that. Yeah, I only enjoyed the last match and the beginning match. Everything else in between was whatever. And and Penta and Dom. So that's three. So yeah, I can go with that. I mean, damn, nah. Cause see, then that brings it back to because that's three out of the five matches. So that
Gotta go with
technically
a
makes it a good.
six.
Yeah, that makes it like with like a good. That makes it a good pay-per-view. I don't know, man. I don't know about that, man. I guess a six, man. I mean, I guess, but it wasn't that good. I
No, I
don't
would.
think it. I don't think it deserves that. I definitely think it deserves like a four.
I was gonna
Like,
go. I was gonna go with a six just because. Look, my expectations were like a 1 on 10, but I got some interesting things. It wasn't a bad event. It was weak in terms of what the card looks like, but it wasn't a
right.
bad event. It's nothing to write home about. We're not going to talk about it for the next 2 3 weeks, but
No.
it was enjoyable.
Enough. Yeah. Enough.
So I'll go with a six. Man, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you giving me the time. Uh, but before we get up out of here, with first time guests, I always do like a special little game with them, top five in 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so I'm gonna do it with you. I
Okay.
want to know your top five masked wrestlers of all time.
Top five. It would be Rey Mysterio number one. It had to be La Parka. I'm gonna go Blue Demon.
Wow.
Uh, Wagner, number 4. Dr. Wagner, number 4. Number 5 would have to be Psychosis.
Psychosis, man. Fucking, I'm happy you put La Parka and Psychosis in there because those guys are
Yeah,
so underrated, so
definitely.
underrated.
Yeah.
Your top 5 favorite wrestlers of any company.
Any company, it goes Stone Cold Steve Austin, number 1. Rey Mysterio, number 2. Oh, wait, you said, you wait, so with that, do you mean of all time or current? Like,
All
are we
time.
talking
You can have
all time? Okay,
current.
bet.
You can have current AEW, WCW, New Japan.
Okay, bet.
All time.
That so I always say it goes always goes Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rey Mysterio, Taz,
Wow.
um, Sabu was my guy. R.I.P. man, R.I.P. to
Amazing.
God man. And my last favorite, my fifth one, probably The Rock. It would definitely have to be Rocky, man.
Oh wow. You like Final Boss Rock?
I mean, yeah, I guess somewhat. He's okay. Not the worst, not the best, but it's cool.
Your top 5 favorite match stipulations.
Favorite match stipulations. Royal Rumble has always been my favorite. Is like my favorite match. Like so, I always have fun with those. I like Hell in the Cells are always dope. Hardcore matches are always fun. I like those. Um, let's see. What was another one? Inferno matches are cool, and I always like the buried alive matches, man. Those don't get a
Amazing.
lot of love, man.
Amazing. Um, and the last one, your top 5 favorite Doom albums in order.
Oof. For me, man, it definitely has to go Mad Villain number 1. Operation Doomsday would have to be number 2. Um, Victor Vaughn would be number 3. My fourth one would have to be him and Danger Mouse. I forgot the name of that. The Mask and the Mouse, I think that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Danger
And
Doom.
the last, yep, and then the last one would have to be Ghidorah, taking to your leader.
Great record.
Yeah, but
You know which one is very underrated. That's probably in my top 5 is Born Like This.
More Like This was dope too. I like that one a lot too, man. That was the last one he did, like the last solo we got of his.
Yeah, and he had different producers on there too. Like I think Ant from Atmosphere produced on there. I think he had a couple of tracks that he produced on there himself, but he had a bunch of different producers and it really sounded like fucking crystal clear. Like it's in my top 5 for sure.
Hell yeah!
Uh
You know which album was that I thought was ill that doesn't get mentioned? When he did the Victor Vaughn 2, and people have said that that was like his worst album. I've seen like videos where people rank like Doom's discography. They always rank that one last because it came
no.
out like around the time that Food came out. It was like it came out like in between Food and Mad Villain. And it was like people were always like, they didn't like that Victor Vaughn 2 album.
It
I thought that shit
depends.
was ill though.
He's very moody with his project, so I'm guessing it's the mood. Like I'm not always in the
Mhm.
mood for food. Like
Right.
even Mad Villainy. Sometimes like I'll put that on and I'll be like, this is not the mood, and I'll go to like Born Like This, or I'll go to a different sounding project.
Yeah,
He's very moody with the project, and that's why he stood the test of time with his music,
hmm
and he always will be.
I agree. Oh yeah.
Uh, man, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. The
Nah, thank you for having me on, man.
man, the album is great. The project is great. Doom was right. People could hear it on Apple Music, Spotify. It's gonna be out on fucking Bars Over BS on Tuesday. When you probably listen to this episode, it'll probably be sold out at that point. But man, like this is a really, really well orchestrated album, man. Congrats to
Thank you.
you and the work that you put in, whether it was for the production, the raps, or putting the song structure. Very important is song structure and how you put your music, laid out for the people to listen to and in which order. And you did a really flawless job with this, man. Honestly.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you, bro, for real.
Yeah, absolutely. And Doom was right is out now. the only credible luchador in hip hop. Act low, action figure, RIP, Sabu. Thank you so much, man. We'll talk soon.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you, man.
Peace.
Peace, my brother.